So what I've been preaching for since I was a kid is balance. That is because subconsciously, that is what my dad has been saying for years, and I picked it up subconsciously. When I was a teenager, I used to think like, old man talking, boring and lame. But now that I'm an adult and I've grown up, I've got few life experiences. What I preach is balance. So let me give you an example of what my dad used to tell me. So I'm I'm in South Asia. This is Nepal, and every other parents used to force their kids to study. While I was a kid, there was an absolute rule that you must have a good grade. But my dad was not like it. My mom used to be on the same mindset. She used to be like, you have to get absolute good grade, or else you're a failure as a kid. But my dad was like, even during exams, you need to go outside. Like, it's okay if you pass. Like, if it's okay if you get passing grades, but you need to also experience the life out here. That is not the only thing he said. Like, there's a lot of examples, but just to put in perspective. So yeah, balance is the absolute preaching I do. Like, there needs to be balance. Uh, so I've read some few books this month. One of them is The Art of Being Alone. So to basically summarize this book, how I've understood it is the the only way to being alone is to focus on your goals, your career, and make your life enjoyable alone. You need to you need to make things that are enjoyable you do alone, and that are your goals. And she makes absolute sense. So also what she also said, she was also focusing on the find yourself, be true to yourself, yeah, the deep work. But yeah, I guess that's also valid, but the enjoying part alone was more helpful. So that's the book I've read, and that's what I'm summarizing it as. So another book I've read is 6 Feet 6: Growth Hormone and Bone Density or something. It was about height. So that's a topic for later. So my point is having imbalance. So for the past months, all I've read is book, right? And it is fun. It's fun to read books. But you get too nerdy reading on the books. You need to you need to explore other aspects of the life too. You can't just read books and and expect to be better at other things. Like, so if you read a book on how to swim, you're not going to know how to swim just because you read about it. You need to go in the pool. You need to fucking paddle your hands and stuff. That's the exact thing. So I'm balancing books with working out. Know what I'm saying? If you smoke, it is okay. I'm not judging. If you smoke, you gotta do morning cardio. Like, you gotta do balance it out with cardio. It's just, if you smoke and just sit around, yeah, you cook, my brother. So balance is the absolute thing I've been preaching out for a long time. Yeah, balance is what you need. What else could be the example? I'm giving my own life experiences. So yeah, for- if you're not getting girls, right? For now, I'm pausing that shit. You can't talk to, like, you can't just throw your time away just texting girls. But you also can't, like, not approach anyone and expect to for love to find you. it doesn't work like that. You gotta balance that shit out. Food. You can't eat too much, you can't eat too less. That's a given, like that should be the prime example. Food, fucking food. That should be the prime example of balancing shit out. Yep. Also, now that I remember my dad, like so when we when we were growing up, social media and phones were coming up too, right? That's the generation I was growing up with. So they money was everything. Like that's like the social media. They push the agenda like money is everything. But also the agenda of intelligence, it was pushed too. Even back then, my dad was like, too much of money without intelligence is bad, and too much of intelligence without money is bad. So yeah, first rule of life is to survive. He said, you need to survive even if you have to steal from others. Like do that shit, but survive. So yeah, my thoughts are like all over the place. So balance is absolute. Alright, good day. I mean, have a bad day.